You know that quiet thought that visits you sometimes? The one that whispers, I could be more than this. Not in an arrogant way, not in a grand, dramatic way, just a subtle awareness that somewhere inside you, there is more strength, more clarity, more courage than you are currently expressing. And yet, day after day, you move through routines. You respond instead of initiate. You delay instead of act. You doubt instead of decide. And it creates this strange internal tension between who you are and who you sense you could become. What if I told you something? Most people are not living at their full potential, not because they are incapable, not because they are unintelligent, not because they are lazy, but because they are operating at around 9% of their accessible psychological capacity. Not brain capacity, that's a myth, but lived capacity. Accessed energy, accessed confidence, accessed focus. The rest isn't missing, it's locked behind patterns, and today we're unlocking them. Let's start with something simple, your body. It sounds almost too basic to matter, but your nervous system does not start with your thoughts. It starts with physical signals. Notice your posture right now. Are your shoulders slightly forward? Is your breathing shallow? Is your neck tilted down? When your body collapses inward, your brain interprets it as a protective state. Shallow breathing activates subtle stress responses. Stress responses activate survival mode, and survival mode is efficient, but it is not expansive. When you are in survival mode, you don't think creatively. You don't take strategic risks. You don't speak with grounded confidence. You conserve. So if your body lives in subtle contraction all day, your mind will follow. But here is the empowering part. The body can also reverse the pattern. Lengthen your spine. Slow your breathing. Relax your jaw. Widen your field of vision. These are not motivational tricks. They are neurological signals. When your body signals safety and strength, your brain reallocates resources from defense to expansion. Small physical shifts create cognitive space, and cognitive space is where potential begins. Now let's move deeper. Most people believe their biggest obstacle is motivation. It's not. It's identity. Your brain does not prioritize success. It prioritizes familiarity. If you have spent years seeing yourself as the shy one, the anxious one, the inconsistent one, the one who never finishes things, your nervous system has built stability around that identity, even if that identity limits you, because familiarity feels safe. Growth feels uncertain, and uncertainty feels threatening. So when you procrastinate, when you hesitate, when you sabotage momentum, it is rarely laziness. It is identity protection. Your brain is preserving the version of you it recognizes. This is why dramatic self-reinvention often fails. You try to jump from who you are to a completely different version overnight. Your system resists. But here is the shift. You do not need to become someone else. You need to expand who you already are. Instead of asking, how do I become confident? Ask, what would the slightly braver version of me do right now? Not 10 times braver. Not fearless, just 2% braver. Maybe that means sending the message. Raising your hand. Starting the task for 5 minutes. The brain does not strongly resist small expansions, but it resists identity threats. 2% feels possible. 2% compounds. And over time, your nervous system recalibrates. You are no longer acting out of force. You are acting out of expanded identity. That is how the other 91% begins to open. Now we need to talk about dopamine, because most people misunderstand it. Dopamine is not the chemical of pleasure. It is the chemical of pursuit. It is released in anticipation of reward, not after you receive it, which means your brain is wired to chase. But modern life has changed the equation. You can receive tiny bursts of anticipation without effort. Scrolling, notifications, constant novelty. Your brain adapts quickly. Neuroplasticity ensures that repeated behavior becomes easier to repeat. So when your system gets used to quick rewards, slow growth starts to feel unbearable. Deep work feels heavy. Delayed gratification feels painful. Long-term goals feel distant. Not because you lack discipline, but because your reward system has been conditioned for immediacy. Here's the powerful part. The same neuroplasticity that shaped your habits can reshape them. Every time you choose a small discomfort voluntarily, you are retraining your dopamine system. Finishing a task before checking your phone. Sitting with boredom for a few minutes. Going for a walk without stimulation. These are not productivity hacks, they are neurological recalibrations. Each time you delay easy reward, you strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long-term thinking, self-regulation, and conscious choice. Potential is not unlocked through intensity. It is unlocked through repeated intentional strain. Just like a muscle. Stress, recover, repeat. Over time, what once felt uncomfortable becomes baseline, and baseline determines performance. Now let's pause, because there is something deeper here. Many of the traits you criticize in yourself may not be weaknesses, they may be misdirected strengths. Sensitivity is not fragility, it is high emotional perception. Overthinking is not incompetence, it is analytical capacity without structure. Restlessness is not instability, it is unused energy without direction. You tried to suppress these parts, but suppression consumes energy. Redirection unlocks it. When sensitivity becomes empathy and insight, it becomes influence. When overthinking becomes structured reflection, it becomes strategy. When restlessness becomes movement and action, it becomes drive. The 91% is not hidden in some distant future version of you. It is hidden in the parts you misjudged. You don't need to erase yourself. You need to reorganize yourself. So what does unlocking potential really mean? It means removing friction, aligning your body with strength, expanding your identity in small increments, retraining your reward system through voluntary discomfort. Not dramatic transformation, not overnight change, quiet recalibration. You will not wake up one day feeling completely different. Instead, something subtle shifts. You tolerate discomfort a little longer. You recover from doubt a little faster. You initiate instead of waiting. And one day you look back and realize, you are not reacting to life the same way anymore. You are directing it. That is access. That is capacity. That is the 91% slowly integrating. So here's a question for you. Which gate is currently limiting you? Is it physical? Your energy, posture, breathing? Is it mental, the identity you have unconsciously protected? Or is it neuropsychological, a reward system trained for ease? Start with one. Not all three, just one. 2% expansion. Today. Because the truth is this. You were never operating at 9% because you are incapable. You were operating at 9% because your system was designed to protect you. But protection and expansion are different modes, and you get to choose. Not through force, not through self-criticism, but through awareness and small, deliberate shifts. The rest of your potential is not waiting for motivation. It is waiting for alignment, and alignment begins the moment you decide to access more of who you already are. Slowly, intentionally, and consistently. The 91% is not a dramatic awakening. It is a quiet unlocking, and it starts now.